Hello, viewers. Welcome to SNEP Talks. And today we are going to talk about a topic which is dear to us. At the same time, we normally do not try to pay attention to it. We do not give as importance as it should have. Yes, I'm talking about estate planning. And one of the tool in estate planning is writing a will. I am sure you have many questions around it. When should I start writing a will, whether it is required, whether it should get registered. So will get answers to all these questions. And once again, to answer our questions with us, we have Mr. Jitendra Solanki. Hi, Jitendra.
Hi, Shilpa.
And we know Jitendra is founder of SNEP, Special Needs Estate Planners. Uh, he is working on special children, families, estate planning, and financial planning for many years. He is a SEBI registered investment advisor as well. So let's begin our topic, today's topic. Jiten, just tell us about the importance of writing a will.
Yes, I would say quite a hot topic these days because a lot of media articles, a lot of companies have started focusing on. So a lot of awareness is generated, and we too receive a lot of queries on will writing.
Mm.
How it is to be written, what to be done. Uh, so why you need a will actually? Why it's so important? I think one is it pertains to first of all writing your wish, what you want to do, okay, how you want your legacy to be distributed among your family members, or how do you want your legacy to be planned for, maybe for charities or whatever way you want to do. You have a wish that this is how it should be done. So will becomes a document where you write everything you wish for your personal assets, right?
Mm.
So, and that's why I say, it's a wish because it's what you are writing. This is how you want. It's your personal assets. It's your self-acquired asset or inherited asset. It's your asset. You want these assets to be distributed in certain manner or something to be done with these assets. Maybe create a trust, maybe do philanthropy, maybe given to charity or some purpose. Whichever way you want to do, it's a wish you want to have. Okay. If you
Mm.
do not write a will, your wish nobody else would come to know actually. It is in your mind. So whatever you have within uh, within your mind, I think you pen down in this document and make it very clear to your family members or sometime to the world, that this is what you wanted, how your assets should be utilized, should be distributed when you are not there tomorrow.
Okay, so as we have understood, will is actually your wishes to be fulfilled after you are gone. So we can call it इच्छा पत्र in Hindi instead of
Yes.
मृत्यु पत्र because क्या होता है people get scared when they talk about
Hmm.
मृत्यु पत्र. So let us call it इच्छा पत्र. It is more of will. And because of this fear, many a times people don't write their will. Okay. So
Yes.
what happens when a person dies without a will? And is there any, because I have heard that there are many succession laws in India, and then how everything happens if somebody just dies without a will?
Yeah. In fact, that's where the complexities arise. When you die without a will, and that's where a lot of misconception also, people have because the very less people, very few people are aware of that. Uh, how what happens when you die without a will?
Mm.
Okay, everybody. I think most of the misconception I've heard is that if I'm going to die tomorrow, everything goes to my wife. Okay,
Mm.
but there is succession law. There is Indian Succession Act, which is there, and then within that, you have Hindu Succession Act, which is applied on Hindus, Sikh and Christian, and then you have a separate laws for Muslims, right? Now, what does these laws do? These laws have very clearly stated that if there is no will, right? I mean, they name it as intestate succession, right? Which
Okay.
spell means that you haven't written any kind of will for, yourself or for your assets. If it is not there, then the Indian Succession Act, uh, for Hindus, like Hindu Succession Act, very clearly define that if you die, these are the people who, to whom your legacy, your assets, your estate will be distributed in this manner, right?
Hmm.
So, like Hindu Succession Act, what does it do? It defines class one legal hires, class two legal hires, egnate, cognate. Now, class one legal hires for a Hindu male would be wife, child, children, and mother, right?
Hmm.
Not many people know this, that if you do not have a will, your mother is also have a, share in your property. Right.
Okay.
So the Hindu Succession Act says very clearly that if you die, then your properties will be distributed between your children, your wife, and mother in equal share. Now, when I say equal
Hmm.
share, it doesn't mean that everything gets liquidated and divided equally, but every asset will have, these all of these as a shareholder or owners. So if you have a
Hmm.
property, so in your property, your children, wife, and mother will have a share. In your bank account, all of these will have a share. That's why I said it becomes complicated then, right?
Hmm.
Because then all of the assets will have to have these shares. All of the assets will have to divide it between these people. And we know the legal process itself is a bit of complicated when you have to go through that. So if you do not have a will, it goes as per the law, and the law is
Okay.
very, very clear. And sometimes I say, that if you do not have a will, the law decided what the law decide is not what you want. Okay.
Then,
So that's how, that's where the laws are placed.
so it's always advisable that one should have a will. Uh, but if someone is, say, has died intestate, can you, in very brief, tell us the process their family has to follow just
Hmm.
to get things right? I mean, even if I think, like, even if the law says that class one here and class two here, there has to be some
Yes.
process by which the transfer
Yes.
actually happens to their name also. So, in brief,
Yes.
if you can just help us.
Yeah, sure. So let's take property, so now you have died intestate. So now there are two owners. Okay. So the wife is also there. The child is also there. Uh, Now both have of your legal hires have the share in the property, right? So what happens? One of the apart from other document like identity proof or any other document, one of the document they have to arrange additionally is a succession certificate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there is a legal hire certificate also. So these additional documents are demanded by the institution. Now these documents
Okay.
you get from the court, they have got a certain timeline. The process depends on how much time the court is going to give you to give these certificates to you. So and again, all of these, then you might have to hire a lawyer to get all these process done. So there are additional documentation which are demanded, and based on the documentation, once you produce this documentation to the the institution will put all legal hires name in the property. So now the property will have two owners, your wife and your child. Okay.
Hmm.
So probably, if you have wished that everything goes to your wife first and then to the child because your child is minor, this will not happen, right?
Okay.
So this is how the process is there. So there are all additional documentation which are demanded, and most one of the important documentation without a will is the succession certificate which has to be
Succession
produced.
certificate.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a lengthy and complicated and costly process. So to avoid all this, it is better that we write will. Now the question is, when should one write a will? Because people feel that once you cross 50, you can write a will. But
Hmm.
COVID has told us, and the current lifestyle is such that we have seen so many mishaps happening in younger people as well. So what is your opinion when the will should be written by us?
I think once you acquire any asset, it's the time to write a will. Okay.
Okay.
So suppose you are very young, you have just started your job, and you don't have any assets in your name. Probably you don't feel the need of, having a will, right? But the moment you buy a property, suppose you buy a property, okay, and you have a little bit of savings. Now you have an asset in your name. So now it's a time, to write a will. You are
Mm.
unmarried, no problem. You might not have, responsibilities, because, your parents have enough of money available for them. But again, smoothen out the process of, transferring these assets to whomsoever you want. You
Mm.
should write a will. So the moment you acquire an asset in your name, I think it's time to write a will. Age doesn't matter. You might be 25, you might be 26, you might be 30, you might be 35. It doesn't matter. You might be 18 also. You might have got, substantial assets from your parents, probably.
Mm.
So again, it's the time to write a will. So will is
Okay.
written, as we are discussing. It's written to, pen down your wish. Whom do you want
Mm.
these assets to go to when you are not there tomorrow? And we are talking about, writing a document for after your lifetime, and we do not know, when this situation will arise. So I
Yes.
think the moment you have asset in your name, start writing a will.
Okay. So that's a lot of information that we have received today about the importance of wheel and what happens when the wheel is not there. There are many more questions about wheel, like whether we should register a wheel and what should be there in the document. When we say wheel, what all arises of. Sure, we'll need and with one piece of soon that that good it's about it. So thank you so much, Jiten, for helping us and for how
Thank
to
you,
write wheel
Shilpa.
about it.
Yes, thank you. And I think, we are discussing most important topics, in the life of people, and related to special needs children families. We are going to discuss, in the next sessions also. But I think these are very, very important elements of your, life, which you have to prepare for. Okay, thank
So
you, and
thank you.
thank you, thank you.